नाउ व्हेन यू से दैट कि एक रिलक्टेंस आती है कि नहीं जाना यार, मतलब एक जजमेंट फील होती है कि एक ऐसा सेंस ऑफ आपको लगता है आप एक्सपोज हो रहे हो, एंड इट इज वेरी डिफिकल्ट कि भाई आप किसी इंसान को जानते नहीं हो, आप उसके सामने अपनी बातें रख रहे हो, उसको क्या पता मेरे बारे में ना, मेरे को कितना कॉन्टेक्स्ट बताना पड़ेगा, like I have to repeat, explain, I have to relive, and that's what I'm running from. तो क्या फायदा हुआ? But that itself is the process which helps you to heal. And there is a repetitive pattern to some kind of our behavior which is not very healthy. There is a certain kind of mood which is persistent, which is impacting your functionality. And it may not be necessary that you have to become dysfunctional to fulfill the criteria of seeing a psychologist. There are a lot of us who are doing brilliant, who are absolutely functional, but emotionally they are experiencing lot of conflicts, and there's a lot of difficulty they are experiencing.
Psychology, I mean, counseling is considered as a serious business. People don't, and it's मतलब वो जो perception है normal लोगों का, it's a serious business, and so serious कि people those who need psychology वो भी नहीं जा पाते इतना serious है कि they also think कि जाऊँ ना जाऊँ, then they end up most of the times. मेरे साथ भी एक बार हुआ था, I wanted to go, I scheduled an appointment but I didn't show up. तो कुछ ऐसा हो गया था, but मेरी और भी लोगों से बात हुई, and I found कि यार this is not just me, बहुत लोगों के साथ होता है, they want to go it, they want to do it, और वो फर्स्ट स्टेप भी ले लेते हैं, बट वो फिर क्योंकि दिन बदल जाते हैं, मूड चेंज हो जाते हैं, फिर वो बंदा रोक लेता है, रेजिस्टेंस आ जाती है, फिर वो बोलते हैं छोड़ो. व्हाई आप व्हाई डू यू थिंक ये क्यों होता है?
I think, Jatin, um, there is lot of innovation around opening up. There is lot of reluctance to um, come out as you are. Like I think we all have barriers, we all have layers. ये समझ में आ रहा है, नीड है, ये समझ में आ रहा है कि मूड अच्छा नहीं है, घबराहट हो रही है, आई एम नॉट एबल टू ओवरकम अ हार्ट ब्रेक, फैमिली के साथ इतने इश्यूज हैं, academically I don't know what I'm pursuing, I don't know what to do, कॉन्फिडेंस नहीं आ रहा है अपने आप को लेके, अपने रिलेशनशिप्स को लेके. बट when you commit yourself or when you sign up for a space as therapy, somewhere it also suggests that you are willing to engage, and that engagement can be very draining. You know, it's not a space where it's not a Domino's, you come, you eat, you feel good, and you be like, okay, अब मुझे अच्छा लग रहा है. You may feel worse after attending couple of sessions. एक ये भी मुझे लगता है कि दिस इज ऑल्सो एन आइडिया कि अब मैं काउंसलर के पास आ गया, मैं ठीक हो जाऊंगा या मुझे ठीक कर दो, या मैं गया तो मेरी प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व हो जाएंगी, या बस कुछ मैजिक हो जाएगा. It's not your favorite food you're eating and you feel good about it, and you just move on. And it's a commitment. It is an engagement which involves you to eventually open up. Nobody
Takes time.
forces you. It takes time. It is not about 5 sessions, it's not about 6 sessions.
uh, can you mention some other triggers कि cause there is no defined space कि यार now I need a psychologist. जैसे now you mention कि confidence नहीं आ रहा है relationships को लेके या career को लेके, can you mention some other uh, triggers कि यार this qualifies as some I need help.
Okay, so
क्योंकि
I
I asked this question cause क्योंकि जब ऐसा होता है फर्स्ट तो ओवर थिंकिंग से वी जस्ट स्टार्ट थिंकिंग, ओवर थिंकिंग होनी शुरू हो जाती है, देन एंजाइटी स्ट्रेस, फिर पता नहीं लगता कि एम आई टू लेट, एम आई टू अर्ली, एम आई एट द राइट टाइम, तो वो क्लैरिटी कैसे आएगी, व्हेन इज द राइट टाइम?
I think there is no as such defined right time to seek therapy. Sometimes there are visible symptoms, sometimes there is physical and very obvious manifestation of your psychological illness, if I may say it this way, कि आपको psychiatrist दवाई की ज़रूरत है. Everybody don't require medicines and everybody don't feel fruitful after a therapy session. They are different. So ऐसा कोई defined क्राइटेरिया नहीं है कि अब अगर आपको लगे कि मुझे मेरा रोना ही नहीं रुक रहा तो चलो अब चले जाते हैं. Like the point is you don't have to wait up until for you it becomes a saturation point where you know you're on the verge of a breakdown. That is extreme. In that scenario, I think there will be a caretaker who'll rather take you, because then you will not be in a position to make your decisions at that given point. I think at any given point, if we feel that we are confused, there are there is a repetitive pattern to some kind of our behavior which is not very healthy. There is a certain kind of mood which is persistent, which is impacting your functionality. And it may not be necessary that you have to become dysfunctional to fulfill the criteria of seeing a psychologist. There are a lot of us who are doing brilliant, who are absolutely functional, but emotionally they are experiencing lot of conflicts and there's lot of difficulty they are experiencing. तो कोई right age नहीं है, कोई स्पेसिफिक क्राइटेरिया नहीं है. मेडिसिन की जब हम बात करते हैं, when we reach out to a psychiatrist, they do work upon symptomatology कि if you are fulfilling the criteria of a particular disorder illness, you get medicine, you will be prescribed medication. But for therapy there is no hard and fast rule or hard and fast age. See, it also depends on सामने वाला इंसान जो एक्सपर्ट है या जो उस फील्ड में है, वो भी अपने तरीके से एक असेसमेंट करता है. Sometimes couple of sessions are good enough. Sometimes we do have a module that okay 6 महीने हम करते हैं. Sometimes it's a exploratory work, it's a long term work people engage into, and that it's not that they necessarily have some crisis they've come to talk about. Uh, Also, I wanted to add here. Um, Now when you say that कि एक reluctance आती है कि नहीं जाना यार, मतलब एक judgment feel होती है कि एक ऐसा sense of आपको लगता है आप expose हो रहे हो, and it is very difficult कि भाई आप किसी इंसान को जानते नहीं हो, आप उसके सामने अपनी बातें रख रहे हो, उसको क्या पता मेरे बारे में ना, मेरे को कितना context बताना पड़ेगा. Like I have to repeat, explain, I have to relive, and that's what I'm running from. तो क्या फायदा हुआ? But that itself is the process which helps you to heal, and that gives you a space to also know your experiences from a perspective, learn a way to deal with it. So when you talk about that reluctance, my idea of having listening circles or those group sessions is also to create, it's not a counseling space. It is, we are not doing counseling in those 1 hour, 1.5 hours. It is nevertheless a space that offers you to open up, to talk, to engage into a conversation which may help you to expand your own horizon. Like you said, when I spoke to somebody and they had 6 points, and we don't know, हमें लगता है कि ये मेरे साथ है, लेकिन जब हम उस चीज को, एक फेमिलियरिटी बिल्ड होती है उसके अराउंड कि अच्छा हाँ सबके घर में प्रॉब्लम हो सकता है. ओके टू गेट एंग्री एट योर पेरेंट्स, इट इज ओके टू फील सैड. तो वो एक एक्सेप्टेबिलिटी बढ़ती है. आप अपने करीब और आते हो उस एक सेटिंग में रहकर जब आप खुलते हो, क्योंकि वो एक नॉन जजमेंटल स्पेस है. उसमें आपको कोई आपसे अकेला इंसान बात नहीं कर रहा है, सब शेयर कर रहे हैं. एक शेयरिंग स्पेस है, एक स्टोरी टेलिंग नहीं बोलूंगी, बट हाँ एक नैरेटिव बिल्ड हो रहा है. हम उस नैरेटिव से एक दूसरे को समझने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं. सो माई, वेन I know that there is a lot of percentage of population जो नहीं जाता अभी भी. It's not very it doesn't come very easy to people to seek therapy. But listening circle can be a space where one can try, where one can see how one feels, talking.
In your experience and in your opinion, how artistically beautiful is the experience of opening up, but तुमको खुद से खुद के बारे में ज़्यादा पता लगता है खुल के.
Hmm.
तो सन मैं बता नहीं पा रहा, शायद आप समझ गए होगे मैं क्या बोलना चाह रहा हूँ कि यू इन अ अननोन सेटिंग कि यू आर टॉकिंग विद अ ग्रुप, या तुम खुल के यू आर एक्सपोजिंग योरसेल्फ, तुम एक तरीके से बात कर रहे हो सबसे, बट तुम अगेन स्टोरी यू आर कनेक्टिंग विद योर ओन सेल्फ लोगों से बात करके. अभी व्हाट वी डू इज वी ट्राई टू कीप आवर थिंग्स टू आवरसेल्व्स. हमारा बंद बंद रहते हैं जो भी सोसाइटी कहीं ना. चलो विल नॉट गो देयर सोसाइटी के बारे में बट am I able to
हाँ हाँ
put across the point that I
हाँ.
mean?
So I can remember कि बहुत सारे फीडबैक्स आए जहाँ लोगों ने बोला कि हमें पता नहीं था कि हम इतना कंफर्टेबल फील करेंगे उन 10 या 15 लोगों के साथ जिनको हम जानते भी नहीं है. एंड देयर वर पीपल हु साइंड अप, they were across India, it's not just Delhi. And I'm not sure if they have connected. I don't know if any of them are connected at the moment. बट जो वो एक कनेक्शन वहां उस 1 घंटे में बिल्ड हुआ, लोग, people were surprised. They said we felt safe and they wanted to open up. Like they said कि हाँ हम कर सकते हैं. मतलब it feels good, it feels liberating to allow oneself to just talk.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today we have Ms. Astha Nagpal with us. Good evening, Astha. Would you like to start the webcast with your introduction?
Okay, sure. Thanks, Jatin, and a very good evening to all of you who's watching us. I'm Astha Nagpal. I'm the founder, clinical psychologist with Daffodils. It's a center for counseling and psychotherapy. I started this venture recently, but I've been practicing as a clinical psychologist for the last 9 years now. I've been associated with schools, with colleges, with universities. Right now, I'm also working as a consultant with Delhi University. Apart from that, I am also a freelance artist. I paint, and that's something that keeps me going. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that was a nice introduction. So one question that I have in mind, and I assume people would, ki, as you mentioned, ki recently you started your own practice, your own venture.
Mhm,
So
mhm,
what was the difference between what you were doing and what you started? I mean, you were doing a similar
hmm,
practice there
mhm.
also.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Okay. So I think there is a lot of difference when you work for somebody and when you work for yourself. I think the biggest reason what really pushed me to start something of my own, which I was anyway doing apart from my regular job, was that there were so many things I wanted to do, which my job never allowed me to explore. So I have been working as a counselor mostly with organizations, and I have a lot of interest, and I've been doing a lot of workshops and group sessions, and I wanted to do something more actively about it. So why this venture? So it does give me a space for private practice, but apart from that, during this lockdown, I started this initiative of listening circle hula hoop. The idea was that it was very new for all of us to be, uh, quarantined. In fact, just I think 20 minutes back, I was having a conversation with my mom, and she used the word home arrest because I was talking about solitary confinement and criminals. And And she said, yeah, practically it is a home arrest. And that actually, it's just very, like 20 minutes back, it happened, that conversation. And that's when I thought that maybe we should have a platform to have people talk in a non-judgmental, comfortable, safe space, where I tried to work upon a lot of themes from um, academic difficulties that students are experiencing because of e-learning, family dynamics, because I'm not sure if any of our families have stayed this long, um, in for such a long time. There have been a lot of family conflicts that have come up to me, in a private session, and I've observed that even otherwise with my own family also. So there were a lot of themes that we worked upon. I sat down, thought about it, spoke to a couple of my colleagues, spoke to a lot of my friends, and we came up with so many themes. And um, surprisingly, it was received very well, as if everybody wanted to come out and share a space where they can talk. And it was a hit. And I still remember, I was working like 17, 18 hours in a day, and there's no house help, there's nobody, and I have to do all that also. My mom was not here. I was only with my dad these 5 months of lockdown. Um, and I managed all of it. I was so excited to um, get myself engaged into that kind of space where we were listening stories and we were trying to build narratives. So we did once, we did twice. Then after some gap, we did again. And when I went back to all my friends and my colleagues, it was pure volunteer work, and everybody agreed to do it again. Um, that only helped me to now make it as like a formal service we offer at Daffodils, where periodically we do listening circles, and we are starting again. So I have my first listening circle session on 30th now, and they were very regular. Previously, we were doing it every single day, but now they are scheduled once in a week because a lot of us have also resumed our work, keeping that in mind. So that's something which is very, very special and close to me. So you asked me why this work, because when I was already working, I was at a good position. I was heading the department in schools. I was doing well in university, but there was something which was missing. I didn't have that liberty to explore my creativity, which I wanted to do for longest time. Um, Listening circle is one of the aspect of my services which I offer apart from clinical consultations. Also organized couple of webinars um, on a very pertinent topics which we know that mostly related to, of course, mental health and family and adolescent issues. So these are the some of the things that really interest me. I like to talk to people. I like to talk and listen to people in group settings. So that was my one of my goals around creating this space. I also want to do something with art and therapy. So that's still in the pipeline. I don't know when will that be translated into a full-fledged um, practice. Yeah.
Okay, so one thing that came into my mind, Abhi, while I was listening to you, was कि you mentioned कि you've been doing this practice before as a profession, as a job,
Mhm.
but जो job का जो scenario होता है उसमें you don't get a lot of liberty to explore things. It's
Right.
more of a repetitive
Hmm.
task. It becomes a task.
Right.
I want to know what triggered.
So I left my job last October, and when I gave my resignation, everybody asked me, "Do you have a job? Like, do you have another job? You are decently settled. You're leaving a job. Are you sure you want to do it?" Like, I said yes. I think I'm done because I don't see anything beyond what I'm doing. I think I've also derived whatever this organization can offer me. Um, and of course, like a conventional hierarchy which works in organization, it also came into a forefront, and there were friction, very obvious friction, and I decided that I have to now take a call for myself. Initially, it was tough because I used to get these questions. You don't have a job, not that you have any private clients, because you can't really have your own if you're associated with an organization. So I said, we'll see. I think to say that we will see, and I just did it. um, I can't really pinpoint what led to that. For sure, there was a stagnancy which I felt and experienced at workplace. And when I did that, for first 2 3 months, I think I also gave myself that break. Um, I have been working since 2011, and I've never taken a break of this kind, like uh, not even 15 days between two jobs. I traveled, I took a break, and I was thinking that now that I've been thinking about it for years and years and it has not happened, maybe I can materialize it now. And I spoke to my brother. He's older to he's 1.5 years older to me, and he said, "Yeah, give me your blueprint. What is your vision? What are you promising with this? What are you trying to do?" And I sat and wrote it down. What is it that how do I see this? And choosing a name also was not very tough. I never wanted to um, limit itself to a mental health service alone. Like when you talk about holistic well-being, and I appreciate all other mediums that contributes to one's well-being. And there was a lot of thinking. I think there was also, because I allowed myself to not feel pressured with my current job, I'd left it. I actually allowed myself to just think about it freely. I had enough resources, thankfully, for myself to sponsor my 3 months of travel and whatever. Um, and it just happened. So I told my brother, listen, I want to do this. Let's create a website and let's start figuring out what to do. And things naturally they fell in place. Um, but within a month span, so I started the like I started I have my space where I started taking my consultations, and all of this was in background that I'll expand it in different manners. But let me just sort of make my name. Lockdown happened within, like, it was not even a month, and lockdown happened. Um, I was not surprised. I didn't feel worried that I just started, my own private practice. I have my business card, I have my templates, and now there's lockdown. And then I think just very naturally, so it just I was speaking to a friend and I was like, यार ये करते हैं, like मुझे करना है, मतलब let's start something. मैं करती हूँ मेहनत. I will sit and I will talk with my friends. I'll try to create a module. बस मेरी वो कहने की देर थी. I spoke to like couple of my friends. I actually spoke to them for things they are good at. So I targeted them on their expertise, and not all of them are counselors, but they are very good with some aspect of them, and there's some things that they practice. And everybody agreed. Nobody said we won't do it. They're like, it's a great idea, great initiative. And then when it just happened that, okay, we will, I'll make a Instagram handle. That's how we'll promote it. We were flooded with registrations. And it was overwhelming because I didn't know what to do, how to, strategize it because we wanted more people to attend it. It actually turned out to be a very heartwarming experience for me also. And that's when I realized that finally I'm doing what I wanted to do.
Um, so how do you go about this change? क्योंकि the one change that you have already made is to change your the place you're working at and the way and your theory, वो पूरा मॉड्यूल अपने अपना बनाया एंड उसमें आपने वो चेंजेस कैसे डाले जिसमें जो आपके लिए भी आई एम अज्यूमिंग कि एकदम नए होंगे, हमारे लिए भी नए, सबके लिए नए हैं, जैसे सोशल मीडिया का चेंज है, बिजनेस मॉडल बनाना है, अब उसे सोशल मीडिया के लिए बिजनेस मॉडल बनाना है द वे कि वो वहाँ पे भी रन करे सक्सेसफुली.
Uh, I think I'm still figuring out. Like, I'm not very sure if I have found all answers to how to translate into a hardcore monetary business. In fact, I was watching the video you shared with me, and it precisely talks about that being creative is, it's not just about, we understand creativity as a very special skill, or as a very special it's like you're blessed with it and something which is great. But when the moment you start translating into it as a monetary business, then it can be a big blow to you.
कि सो हर क्वेश्चन वाज कि एकदम से ही कभी-कभी कुछ ट्रिगर होता है एंड शी बिकम्स, कुछ हो गया, आर्ग्यूमेंट कुछ हो गया एंड वो बहुत ही ज़्यादा एग्रेसिव हो जाती है एंड इसका बाय प्रोडक्ट इज़ कि शी ऑल्सो ओवरथिंक्स एंड मतलब बहुत स्ट्रेस आ जाता है एंड इसका आउटकम ये होता है कि शी ईदर फाइट्स विद पीपल शी इज़ वर्किंग विद और शी फील्स लाइक क्राइंग एंड इस पूरे व्हेन इट्स डन एंड उसके आफ्टरमैथ इज वो या तो उसका मन करता है कि मैं सब छोड़ छाड़ के भाग जाऊं, लेट मी जस्ट कट आउट ऑल द नॉइज एंड जस्ट गेट अवे फ्रॉम दिस, या शी फील्स कि द वर्ड्स वर कि मैं स्टिक विद माई मदर, कि बस मेरे को कोई अपना पकड़ ले. तो हाउ डू यू understand this? What, if you can make any qualified comment on it, what is it?
Okay. तो मतलब uh, so you said that either she wants to run away or she wants to stick to her mother. See, when you talk about aggression and you say कि वो वर्क प्लेस पे निकलता है या किसी से लड़ाई हुई किसी और पे निकला, we all displace our emotions. If I can't shout at my boss, but I can shout at my friend, my mom, because वो तो मेरे हैं, so I can, I share that relation. Why am I shouting at why do I feel like shouting at my boss? Um, could have a very different reason. But when I start shouting at my friend, could be received very differently. And it may also impact my relationship with my friend. तो इसलिए मुझे बुरा भी लग रहा है कि शिट मैंने क्या किया कि मुझे गुस्सा आ रहा है, मेरे दिमाग में 10 बातें चल रही हैं, मुझे ये नहीं पता. आई एम नॉट एबल टू आइडेंटिफाई व्हाट इज मेकिंग मी एंग्री. But some things are making me angry. We always reach out to those people who are accessible to us. I will not shout at my boss, but I will not think twice before shouting at my mom, because there is that equation, there is that comfort. There is also that desire and probably confidence that she will receive me. वो समझ जाएंगी. लेकिन खुद को पता होता है कि गलत निकला है, कि मम्मी ने तो कुछ कहा ही नहीं था, मम्मी पे क्यों गुस्सा आ रहा है, राइट? तो जब हमारे दिमाग में बहुत सारी चीज़ें, बहुत सारे कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स चल रहे होते हैं, which I still don't know what is it that makes her angry and aggressive, but definitely जो आप बता रहे हो उसमें डिस्प्लेस हो रहे हैं इमोशंस, वो राइट सोर्स को नहीं जा रहे, डिलीवर नहीं हो रहे हैं. अच्छा, जब हम एक्सप्रेस करते हैं, एक्सप्रेशन कैन बी वेरी ओवरवेलमिंग. आई मे फील वेरी वल्नरेबल. तो अक्सर लोग जो गुस्सा करते हैं वो तुरंत रोने लगते हैं, क्योंकि it does something to you also. It's so Difficult to also observe yourself with those heightened emotions. And there's something that is saddening you, there's something that is bothering you. समझ नहीं आ रहा है, आर्टिकुलेशन नहीं है. तो वो aggression becomes one of the ways of manifesting that discomfort, um, or disagreement, because communication नहीं हो रहा ना. How many of us really sit down and talk what we want and negotiate around that? कोई किसी को सुनने को तैयार नहीं है. गुस्सा आता है. If I feel I'm not heard properly, I'm being misunderstood. Either I'll become sad or I'll react कि भाई ये तो गलत है. Now that immediate need of, you know, desiring a rescuer, कि मुझे कोई संभाल ले इस टाइम, क्योंकि मैं इतनी एक्सपोज्ड हूँ, इतना वल्नरेबल फील कर रही हूँ. आई नीड दैट शेल्टर, आई नीड दैट वार्मथ, which will cut down actually all the noises. उस टाइम वो comfort, वो physical comfort essential हो जाता है. I wish I had my mom to hug her. Or I just leave this place. This is so toxic. But मेरी limitations हो सकती हैं. I can't just pack my bag and leave. Like I said, जब जैसे हम alter ego की भी बात कर रहे थे, um, I may not have a possibility of expressing my emotions in a real situation for XYZ reasons, but my art offers me that. मेरा वहाँ पर्पस फुलफिल हो रहा है. मैं अपना गुस्सा, अपना प्यार, अपनी नाराजगी कलर्स में निकाल दी, म्यूजिक कंपोज करने में निकाल दी, एक एक्टर की तरह एक रोल में निकाल दी, राइट? तो जब हम, I think we all do desire, there is always that desire to um, switch, there's always that desire to change the context. I wish I could run away, I wish I could never suffer. Who wants to suffer in first place? वो सफरिंग के साथ एंगेज करना बहुत मुश्किल है. तो सब तरीके ढूंढते हैं, जरिया ढूंढते हैं. आर्ट भी जरिया है. तो शोर खत्म नहीं होता, वो शोर थोड़ी देर के लिए शांत हो जाता है. उसी में हम सुकून ढूंढ लेते हैं कि भाई यही जिंदगी है. Why do people, I mean, why people are engaging into intoxication? Why drugs have become so fancy? इतना ट्रेंड में क्यों आ गए? It does create an alter space for you where you actually don't feel anything. रियलिटी तो
Right.
वही है, मुझे अपने बॉस को वहाँ फेस करना है और मेरे को अग्रेशन इश्यूज हैं.
So she says कि I am doing my regular classes along with an internship, and there's a constant pressure to perform well in both, right? And this pressure affects my performance and makes me difficult to stay calm or hyperactive. She's, I think that's what she's saying. So what do you think? What's the fix for it?
I mean, if you're doing work and you're also studying, of course, it will be difficult. It is a new experience, I believe. Internships, I'll tell you something. So, I also hired more interns, and I've been told आप बहुत काम कराते हो. And I'm like, that I'm so cautious कि भाई बहुत ज़्यादा काम ना हो, अपने टाइम के हिसाब से काम करो, कोई टाइम रिस्ट्रिक्शंस नहीं है. Then someone told me ऐसे नहीं होता, हफ्ते में एक दिन कुछ लिख के देना होता है, ये है वो है, and that's about it. Like, we don't do much. I said, when I am ready to, to sit with you, to talk about things, to help you, जो मेरे अंदर है भाई सीखो, utilize this space. Tomorrow, if you will say you did internship with me, it should come out in your personality. But नहीं, ये नहीं होता. It's like you just cut the slack and we want the certificate. And I was like, I wish I had a chance to do internships like this. I think it's also very different. बहुत चीजें बदल रही हैं तो अगर आई थिंक ये एनीवे बहुत बड़ा प्रेशर है कि आपके पास 2 महीने की छुट्टी है, आपको इंटर्नशिप करनी है। हम मेरे टाइम में ग्रेजुएशन के टाइम पे हमने तो 3 महीने डीओ में एंजॉय किए थे, हमने तो कोई इंटर्नशिप नहीं करी। But that's also competitiveness, that's also the change in scenario. So some bit of pressure and expectation is very obvious. It's not an easy walk. So I don't want to give any false hopes कि भाई अच्छा प्रेशर है, काम कम कर लो या काम ज्यादा होगा। लर्न हाउ टू बैलेंस, वी ऑल नो हाउ टू बैलेंस। लाइक आई कांट schedule somebody's schedule, I can't do that, I don't do that. But let's also learn to become more resilient of the very fact that life is not easy. And if you will work or you will study, you may not be appreciated every single time. That's what the real life is. It's tough. And it's important that you keep going. It is challenging, yes. It can be taxing, yes. It can make you feel aggressive, yes. It can disappoint you because you're not able to meet your friends, because you have work on Sunday, your boss is so bad. But well, that's also true. So, how do I learn to also negotiate those spaces of conflict? अगर मुझे काम ज़्यादा आ रहा है या मेरे को I have to also study, how am I negotiating? What is my communication to my boss? You know, it's very easy to quit. It's very easy to leave your job. It's very easy to say कि नहीं हो रहा भाई, नहीं करना। We've got a lot of money. I don't need a job, right? It's very easy to say that. But to earn that space, to value your work and your academics, it takes hell lot of efforts. It's not easy, which means it will come at some cost, which means you might have to compromise a little on all those hours which you probably spent partying or sleeping. You have to do that. So, and as far as balancing, your work and internship is concerned, and there's a lot of pressure, you have also signed up for that pressure. I want to compete. Now, there will always be a winner. It's like even in that video he said, what is the point of a word if everybody's saying, So you cannot be best in everything that you do, but that does not mean you're bad. So that's where that even listening oneself also becomes very important. हम बहुत बारी बहुत चीजें ओवर एस्टिमेट करते हैं, ओवर इवेल्युएट करते हैं, क्योंकि हमारे पास आसपास लोग करते हैं, अरे मेरा बेटा तो कर जाएगा, मेरी बेटी तो कर जाएगी, अच्छा मैं कर जाऊंगा, मेरा इंटरेस्ट ही नहीं है, मेरा शायद एप्टीट्यूड भी नहीं है, ये कोई नहीं बताता। हम करते रहते हैं, फिर हम फ्रस्ट्रेट होते रहते हैं कि ये क्या कर लिया हमने। फिर 10 साल बाद ख्याल आता है कि शिट, दिस वाज नॉट व्हाट आई वाज सपोज्ड टू डू। बट अगर 10 साल बाद भी ख्याल आ रहा है तो इट्स नॉट दैट बैड, इट्स ओके, यू आर ऑन द राइट ट्रैक।
Hi everyone, I hope you guys liked the video, and if you know someone who makes a similar content or has a story that needs to be shared, please feel free to reach out to us at crosslifenetworks@gmail.com. And if you have an interesting opinion that you'd like to share, please do that in the comment section below. Subscribe the channel, and I will see you in the next webcast.